In this video, you will learn about operations and functions. Those functions with overlapping domains can be added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided. Let's say we're given two functions f of x and g of x. We can get their sum, difference, product, and quotient. So f plus g of x is just equivalent to f of x plus g of x. Then f minus g of x is just equivalent to f of x minus g of x. F times g of x is just equal to f of x times g of x. Then f divided by g of x is just equivalent to f of x over g of x, provided that g of x is not equal to 0. Now let's try solving some problems here. So we're given here two functions, g of n and h of n. G of n is equal to n squared plus 4 plus 2n. Then h of n is equal to negative 3n plus 2. We just have to find g times h of 1. So we need to solve for g times h of n first, and then we plug in the value of n here, which is equal to 1, to solve for g times h of 1. So g times h of n is just equivalent to g of n times h of n. Then we plug in the values of the function. That would be n squared plus 4 plus 2n times negative 3n plus 2. So all we have to do here is distribute each of the terms to the terms of the other expression. So this expression here, the terms of this expression here, we multiply them by the terms of this binomial expression here. So let's start with n squared. So n squared multiplied by negative 3n plus 2 plus 4 times negative 3n plus 2 plus 2n times negative 3n plus 2. So we distribute n squared here. So that would be n squared times negative 3n. So this is just negative 3n cubed plus 2n squared. And then this one, 4 times negative 3n is negative 12n plus 4 times 2 is 8. And then this one, 2n times negative 3n is negative 6n squared plus 2n times 2 is 4n. And now we group like terms. So we can group 2n squared and negative 6n squared, as well as negative 12n and 4n. So this would be negative 3n cubed. 2n squared minus 6n squared is just negative 4n squared. Then negative 12n plus 4n is just negative 8n plus 8. Therefore, the value of g times h of n is just negative 3n cubed minus 4n squared minus 8n plus 8. Now we need to solve for g times h of 1. So we're given here the value of n, which is equal to 1. So we just have to plug in n equals 1 to this equation here. So let's do that. So to delete this. Okay, so g times h of 1 is just negative 3 times 1 cubed minus 4 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 8. So this is just negative 3 times 1 cubed is 1. 1 squared is 1. So this is minus 4 minus 8 plus 8 this is 0. And then negative 3 minus 4 is just negative 7. Therefore, g times h of 1 is just equivalent to negative 7. Okay, let's solve another problem here. Okay, we're given two functions g of a and f of a, where g of a is equal to negative 3a minus 3, and then f of a is equal to a squared plus 5. We just have to find g minus f of a. So g minus f of a is just equivalent to g of a minus f of a. Okay, we just have to substitute g of a and f of a. So that would be negative 3a minus 3 minus a squared plus 5. So this is negative 3a minus 3 minus a squared minus 5. And then we group like terms. So g minus f of a. We can group negative 3 and negative 5. So this is just negative a squared minus 3a minus 8. Therefore, g minus f of a is just equal to negative a squared minus 3a minus 8. Okay, let's solve more problems. Okay, we're given here two functions h of x and g of x, where h of x is equal to 3x plus 3 and g of x is equal to negative 4x plus 1. We just have to find h plus g of 10. But we need to solve h plus g of x first. So this is just equivalent to h of x plus g of x. Okay, plugging in the values of our functions. So this would be 3x plus 3 plus negative 4x plus 1. So this is just 3x plus 3 minus 4x plus 1. And then we group like terms. 3x goes with negative 4x and then 3 with 1. Therefore, h plus g of x is just equal to negative x plus 4. So now we already have a new function, which is negative x plus 4. And now we can solve for h plus g of 10. So all we have to do is we plug in the value of x here, which is equal to 10, to the new function. So that would be h plus g of 10 equals the negative of 10 plus 4. So this is just equal to negative 6. Therefore, h plus g of 10 is just equal to negative 6. Okay, let's solve another problem here. We're given two functions g of a and h of a, where g of a is equal to negative 3a squared minus a, and h of a is equal to negative 2a minus 4. We just have to find g over h of a. G over h of a is just equivalent to g of a over h of a. Now let's plug in the functions. So g of a is just negative 3a squared minus a over h of a, which is just equal to negative 2a minus 4. And we can further simplify both the numerator and denominator. We can factor out a squared, a here, not a squared. So this is just, or negative a. So negative a times 3a plus 1. Then for our denominator, we can factor out negative 2. So this is just negative 2 times a plus 2. And then we can cancel out the negatives here. Then that would be a, we're left with a times 3a plus 1 over 2 times a plus 2. So this is our g of h of a.